Vitalik chose war. And Vitalik actually, was this week or last week, he retweeted Hansom's post from 2022, which is just awesome. ETF approved. Didn't really see it coming. We knew the date. And frankly, your guy Larry Fink is coming. And I think we need to kind of respect that because this dude's not backing down. And I wanted to point some of this stuff out. If you didn't know, BlackRock is launching the TXSE, competitor to the NYSE. They are basically going to make a Texas-based stock exchange to compete with the New York Stock Exchange. Watch what happens if the Texas Stock Exchange like runs 24/7 like crypto. That would be really interesting to see what stocks do that don't run Monday through Fridays and only during the daytime. It says they'll also create an Ethereum L2 for this exchange. SEC Commissioner Heather Pierce wants to create a sandbox for issuing, trading, and settlements of securities on a distributed ledger. Where will the sandbox run? Probably on the new TXSE. Why? Larry Fink kept talking about tokenization for the last 2 years. The exchange will become the first tokenized security exchange in the United States. The securities market is huge, built on Ethereum. So it's going to get really interesting real quick and see what these FMAXs do. Van Eck ETF also increased their ETH target for 2030 to 22K. Keep that in mind. But one of the things I wanted to point out of all the hype and like what's real, what's not, what's whatever, but like BlackRock seeded their Ethereum ETF with $10 million ahead of its launch, which is not a lot of money for an ETF, or it's not a lot of money to BlackRock. And even this post only got like 3,800 views. I wanted to point something out here. BlackRock seeded the Ethereum ETF with 10 million. BlackRock seeded the Bitcoin ETF with 100,000. So they're gung-ho. There's no other way to say it. That's really, really bullish news. We got the ETH ETF, and like BlackRock is going real heavy on it. With that being said, this is an absolute BART setup on the H4. Every single thing I've got that talks about how to trade BARTs is lighting up right now on Ethereum. And as bullish as you can tell I am on Ethereum, this is bothering the living hell out of me. And I see it and I can't unsee it. So we had our God candle. We went from like 3,000 up to 3,900, almost broke 4,000. Our colors rotated from pink back to green, so we're bleeding to green. We've formed the hairline for a BART. Right? It's there. Can't unsee it. I'm a great artist. The RSI has rolled over. We have an RSI top. We have a runner bot top on the H4. And the HMA, the whole moving average, has karate chopped through the hairline. So I don't have another thing. And they also bounced into the reversion bands here, these green bands here. I don't have another thing to tell you that this is a BART. Like that's XYZ every single step of the way. This is a freaking BART setup. And it kills me because the ETH ETF is live, approval-wise. The ETH ETF's coming in a month. BlackRock's going hard on, like, all the news. Everything is, like, lining to, hey, she's going to go north. So my gut says we go up, but my heart says that's a BART, and it is. It's like textbook BART, and it's rolling over. So, what do? We protect ourselves is the plan. We can't really lose this little smaller order block here. There's two pivots here on the H4. This is like 3,600. We can get a little wick below. That's fine. We saw shakeouts here when all this stuff went out. That was a really crazy shakeout. A lot of volume. But if this thing breaks down, I need you guys to not lose your lunch over this if it comes back and touches that. Now, it very well may come down and bounce off one of these other pivots. It might, right? You've got a lot of support here, but I can tell you this is the magnet if things get really, really ugly. It's that's the order block. So we've got to be really careful here. Oh, runner, that doesn't look that bad. Well, that's 26%. That's a big drop that you don't want to eat. So be very, very careful of that. We don't want that to happen. There's just no way around it. Long story short, be happy it pumped, but maybe start talking about putting some stop losses in place or waiting. Put something in place or waiting. And like I said, we can just set alert. We can hop right back in if it gets above 4,000. Like that's the other thing. We just wait. If this thing starts closing candles above 4,000, party on, Garth. Like we can roll with that. Now that, that's what it is. I'm bullish, but I know what the chart's telling me. The chart's telling me there's a Bart setup that I need to be protective of so it won't destroy me. Because when these things break, they break hard and they start liquidating everybody else who's leveraged long, and you start getting a liquidation cascade. Now, Ethereum's probably not going to cause that on Bitcoin, but you have to keep it in mind. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the two heavy hitters. And with that being said, too, you have to keep in mind, if Bitcoin just goes and starts printing new all-time highs, Ethereum's going to get drug up with it, kicking and screaming. Like that's the other thing too. If Bitcoin makes the move, I would expect Ethereum to eventually follow it at some point. But moving on.